BitGo moves 7.4B in wrapped Bitcoin to Chainlink CCIP. BitGo is migrating around $7.4 billion of wrapped Bitcoin from LayerZero to Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, according to an August 5, 2026 post from CoinMarketCap citing the custodian's plans. The move swaps out the messaging layer that moves BitGo's wrapped BTC between blockchains, one of the larger single reassignments of cross-chain infrastructure the market has seen. The dollar figure is the headline, but the mechanics are the story. The wrapped token itself, the claim on real Bitcoin held in BitGo custody, is not being reissued or reminted. What changes is the transport layer, the system that verifies and relays a transfer when a holder moves that wrapped BTC from one chain to another. The wrapper stays, the rails change. Wrapped Bitcoin exists because Bitcoin's own chain does not natively run on Ethereum, Solana, or the dozens of other networks where people want to use it. A custodian holds the underlying BTC and issues a token on another chain that represents it one-to-one. That token is only as trustworthy as two things: the custody behind it and the bridge that carries it across chains. BitGo controls the custody. Until now, LayerZero handled the cross-chain messaging. Shifting that role to Chainlink CCIP means every future cross-chain transfer of the affected wrapped BTC gets validated and relayed through Chainlink's network of Oracle nodes and its risk management layer, rather than LayerZero's endpoint and relayer design. For a token backed by billions in real Bitcoin, the choice of messaging layer is not a cosmetic detail. Bridges have been the single most exploited part of crypto infrastructure, with cross-chain hacks accounting for some of the largest losses on record. When the asset moving through the bridge is worth $7.4 billion, the security assumptions of the underlying protocol become a direct concern for every holder. A custodian's risk calculus is different. Custodians like BitGo carry a different risk profile than a typical DeFi project. They answer to institutional clients, auditors, and in many cases, regulators. A messaging layer that a custodian is comfortable underwriting for retail volume may look different once billions in client representative assets ride on it daily. Chainlink has spent the last several years positioning CCIP specifically at this institutional tier, pairing token transfers with an independent risk management network meant to monitor and, if needed, halt suspicious cross-chain activity. That built-in circuit breaker is the kind of feature a custodian can point to when a client's compliance desk asks what happens if the bridge is attacked. None of this is a verdict on LayerZero's security. It is a statement about fit. The migration reads as BitGo aligning its highest value wrapped asset with the interoperability stack it judges best suited to institutional custody, not as a response to any specific incident. BitGo has not cited a breach or failure as the reason. Second-order effects for the ecosystem. A migration this size is also a signal to the rest of the market. Interoperability protocols compete for exactly this kind of anchor client because a multi-billion-dollar wrapped asset brings recurring transfer volume and, more importantly, a credibility stamp. Winning BitGo's wrapped BTC flows gives Chainlink CCIP a reference deployment that other issuers and custodians will study. For holders and integrators, the practical near-term question is continuity. Wrapped tokens that change their canonical bridge sometimes require applications, exchanges, and DeFi protocols to update their integration so cross-chain transfers keep clearing without friction. Users holding the wrapped BTC on a single chain and not bridging it feel nothing. Anyone routinely moving it across chains will interact with the new CCIP path going forward. The broader takeaway sits at the infrastructure layer, not the price layer. Bitcoin traded at $64,126 as of August 5, 2026, up 0.6% on the day, with the Fear and Greed Index at 38, fear, and market volumes near 2026 lows. The BitGo migration did not move that number, and it was never going to. Its weight is in what it says about where large custodians are placing their trust when billions in tokenized Bitcoin have to cross chains safely.